Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 6, which is entitled Dhyana Yoga, verse number 45. Prayatnadyatmanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishah aneka janma samsiddhas tato yati param gatim. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unminitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are continuing with chapter number 6, which is again Dhyana Yoga. Yoga we know is linking with the Supreme. And dhyana means meditation. So here in this verse, we are understanding what are the symptoms of a topmost yogi, someone who has achieved perfection. First of all, he engages in the service, so that he can progress serving the Supreme Lord. That is his main goal. He engages in all the activities that are going to help him to link with the Supreme. And what is the result of that? All his contaminations are washed off. You see, over a period of time, we do get contaminated. It could be, performing some activities which are not right or sinful activities. There's so many things that happen during our life. But here, a topmost yogi can immediately wash off all the contaminations. And how? By performing devotional service. Bhajate means worshiping the Supreme Lord. And the very first step of a yogi, a topmost yogi, that the yogi has, followed this process, the very step is mantra meditation. To chant the holy names of the Lord, because that is what cleanses the heart of all the contamination. And here in this verse, Krishna is telling Arjuna, after many births of practice, it's not an instant thing like instant coffee, or we start, performing devotional service and boom, we become a topmost yogi. No, it's after many births of practice. It's a lot of practice required. And then the yogi attains perfection. And then the yogi becomes qualified for the supreme goal is to go back to the spiritual world. Now, what happens to an unsuccessful yogi who starts practicing, begins to realize what are the favorable conditions, that unsuccessful yogi, of course, in the next life is born in an aristocratic family or a spiritual family where he can continue his spiritual journey. So, for that unsuccessful yogi, as we learned in previous verses also, that if that yogi starts the spiritual life again with determination towards the unfinished task from the previous birth, then that yogi can cleanse himself completely. How? By following the process that is given to us in the Bhagavad Gita. And mantra meditation is the easiest and most successful way to become a topmost yogi. That we've been listening, hearing again and again in the Bhagavad Gita, in different chapters, in different verses. We have been hearing that because in this age that we are in Kali Yuga, it is not possible to meditate on the Supreme Lord for thousands of years because we don't live that long. Just like the doctor gives a prescription of medication based on the disease. It's not that it's the same medicine for all diseased people. No, each one has a different disease. So similarly, each age that we live in, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, the process of self-realization is different. So in this Kali Yuga, Krishna says the best process and the easiest process is mantra meditation. Now, if we will go to see the very next verse that Krishna is talking about, which is verse number 46, he tells Arjuna, a yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. That is the recommendation, that one should try to become a yogi. Unfortunately, people have an understanding that a yogi is one who has, long beard, gray hair, long mats, and, is wearing saffron clothes, has long nails, etc., and goes to the mountains and meditates. That is also one kind of yogi, but that's not the yogi that Krishna is talking about in this verse. He's talking about a bhakti yogi. You see, a bhakti yogi is greater than all of them, whether it is an ascetic, whether it is someone who is a fruitive worker, so become a yogi. As I mentioned, yoga means connection, connecting with the Supreme Lord. So a yogi is one, topmost yogi is one who's already connected to the Supreme Lord Krishna, you see. So here in this verse, Krishna is not recommending dhyana yoga, where you do meditation. He's talking about bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is what is going to connect us in such a way that we will be able to reach our supreme goal. See, if a yogi is practicing fruitive work, which means, I'm doing this and this is the result I need to get. I want the fruits of my activities and I want to enjoy the fruits of those activities. That kind of yogi is called a karma yogi. You see, and those who are only interested in taking on knowledge, more knowledge, and so that they can think about it and they can argue about it, that if they are empirical, then that is called jnana yoga. So that's a jnana yogi. So there's karma yogi and there's jnana yogi. But here in this chapter of dhyana yoga, Krishna is talking about the topmost yogi who is practicing devotional service. And that devotional service yogi is called a bhakti yogi. Bhakti means devotion. And the ultimate perfection can be achieved only by bhakti yoga. Why? Because bhakti yoga, it is not just a simple a practice. It is based on knowledge. It is not blind faith. It is not that, someone said, so I am going to perform. No, it's based on knowledge. Knowledge from whom? From the absolute truth, which is Krishna himself. You see, Prabhupada explains that the empirical knowledge, if there is no surrender, if there is no following of rules and regulations, then that is imperfection. You see, and those who are karma yogis, like fruitive workers, if there is no devotion in that, then it's waste of time. Then they have to go through the whole cycle of karma. Based on our past karma, we get a particular kind of birth in a particular country, in a particular family, that is based on past karma, you see. So all that we have learned so far up until chapter number 6, which we are going to conclude today, finally, after a long time. So the main idea that is being given to us, the knowledge that is being given to us in all these 6 chapters is to become a bhakti yogi, because Bhakti yoga is the top rung of the yoga ladder, and that is what can help us to become self realized and go back to the spiritual world. So, become a bhakti yogi. That is a topmost yogi, bhakti yogi. We can imagine that say I have an interview on the say 15th floor or maybe 75th floor of a building, and I only have 5 minutes to reach there. So I have two options. One is I use the stairs and go up, climb, or I can take an elevator and boom, in 1 minute I can reach my interview on the 75th floor. So choice is mine. If I start climbing the stairs, definitely I won't reach in 5 minutes. So which means I'll miss my interview. And also my body may not be able to handle that stress of climbing 75 floors. You see, that would be very tiring. So the easy method is I just get into the elevator and boom, I am on the 75th floor. That is what Bhakti Yoga is. It is an elevator, whereas Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, they are all climbing up the stairs. And our destination is topmost, to reach the topmost rung of the yoga ladder, which is Bhakti Yoga. And that is the best according to Bhagavad Gita. Now, in the very last verse of this chapter, Krishna is going to give us the description of a topmost yogi. Who is a topmost yogi? Who's the best of all? He says, and of all yogis, this is a beautiful verse. Yogi nam api sarvesham mad gatinantar atmana shraddhavan bhajate yoman same yukta tamomataha. What is the translation? And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. This is the last verse of chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is giving us the description of a topmost yogi. Again, topmost yogi is not one with a long beard and long hair and very kind of kind of wrinkled. No, he's not talking about that yogi. He's saying the topmost yogi is one who abides in me with great faith. Very, very important. Shraddha, faith is very important in any aspect of life. If I want to build a relationship with somebody, then I need to have that basic faith. And then can start building the relationship and then gradually, gradually make that into firm faith, great faith. So Krishna says that such a yogi, he is the one who with great faith abides in me, thinks of me, think of Krishna. And the best way to think of Krishna is to do the mantra meditation where we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is mantra meditation. That is the recommended medication for the disease in this age of Kali Yuga. What else does he say? He says that topmost yogi renders transcendental loving service to me. So chanting is devotional service, that is rendering loving service to Krishna. And what is the result? That topmost yogi is most intimately united with Krishna in yoga. So now we have a choice. What do we want to do? We want to unite with him, or we just want to carry on the way we are doing. And what towards the end of the verse, Krishna says, he is the highest of all. That's why he's called a topmost yogi. There's nothing above topmost. That is the limit. So that is the topmost yogi. He says he's the highest of all. And Krishna says, that is my opinion. That is Krishna's opinion. Who is Krishna? According to Bhagavad Gita, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the supreme Lord. So if we have a desire to become the topmost yogi, to become a topmost bhakti yogi, bhakti means devotion, then the very first step is mantra meditation. You need to chant every day. Every day, just like we eat every day, we sleep every day, we work every day, we do everything that we want to do every day. So why not do mantra meditation every day? And it'll be there is a guarantee given in Bhagavad Gita that if we start chanting the holy names on a daily basis, we will experience peace and happiness. That is guaranteed. There is going to be, you can say, free from distress. I've been practicing it since 1985, almost 40 years. It gives a lot of peace and happiness. That doesn't mean there will be no miseries, but this chanting of the holy names gives us the spiritual strength to go through that distress. You see? So now the question arises, how can one practice Bhagavad Gita in such a way that if our destination is to become a topmost yogi, how? There is a process. Krishna gives a process in the Bhagavad Gita that we need to follow some rules and regulations. We need to hear, we need to get knowledge, contemplate on that knowledge, and put it into practice. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. Bhajate refers to performing loving devotional service. You see, worshipping means to adore someone or to show respect and honor to someone. But service with love and faith is only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We may adore someone, we may worship someone, but the loving devotional service is only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You see, we can avoid worshipping a respectable person or a great person, but we cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord because that is our position. Jivera Swarup hoy, Krishnara Nitya Das. This is what the scriptures tell us, that our constitutional position is to be eternal servants of Krishna. See, that we cannot avoid because that's our position. And so it becomes our duty to serve the Lord. You see, worship we can do for anybody. Oh, especially the youngsters, they say, oh, I adore the sports person or this film personality. I, adore and respect. That's fine. But service and devotion is only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bhakti Yoga, which is the topmost rung of yoga ladder, is the culmination of all kinds of yoga, whether it is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, whatever it may be, the culmination is Bhakti Yoga. And so anyone who's performing Bhakti Yoga gradually can come to the position of being the topmost yogi, topmost of all, you see. See, this yoga ladder, it begins with karma. Karma is our actions, all the activities that we perform. And if we just perform those activities to enjoy the fruits, it remains karma. But if we offer the results of our activities to the Lord, then it becomes karma yoga, which means no desire to enjoy the fruits. And when karma yoga increases in knowledge, then with the help of knowledge, one can become a jnana yogi. Jnana means knowledge. And when that jnana yogi increases the meditation to realize the super soul within the heart, then he comes to the position of Ashtanga Yogi. You see? Then that Ashtanga Yogi is able to come to the stage of Bhakti Yoga, which is the ultimate goal. But instead of going through all those rungs of the ladder, one can go directly to Bhakti Yoga. You see? But the progress is necessary. Now, for instance, the Karma Yogi, if the Karma Yogi gets stuck in that position, then there will be no progress. The Karma Yogi has to progress to Jnana, to Ashtanga, and then come to Bhakti. So not get stuck in one point. But for a Bhakti Yogi, it's a direct process, like I was explaining, taking an elevator to go up many, many floors. And it begins with mantra meditation, because when we meditate by chanting the holy names, then the result is there is concentration on Krishna. And that is what he's talking about in the last verse, to think of him, to concentrate on him. And that is possible when we chant the holy names. You know, how do we concentrate on Krishna? We can concentrate on his beautiful form, on his pastimes, on his opulences, on his qualities. And that way we can become conscious of him. See, Bhakti Yoga very much depends on consciousness. What is the state of our consciousness? That is what it depends on. And it is up to us. We have that freedom of choice to decide, do I want to concentrate on him or not? You see? So the yogi who is concentrating on the Supreme Lord is considered to be a topmost yogi. That's a perfect yogi. But as for anything in this world, we need to have faith. But as far as Bhakti Yoga is concerned, implicit faith is required. Implicit faith in Guru and Krishna can help us progress. And what is that faith? That the knowledge of the Vedas, the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, will automatically be revealed to someone who is sincere and serious. We cannot understand Bhagavad Gita just by reading or just by hearing. Need to have that implicit faith that, yes, with the help and guidance of a spiritual master and from Krishna, we will be able to understand the Bhagavad Gita. That knowledge will be revealed from within. So, Bhakti Yoga or becoming conscious of Krishna means there should be no desire for personal benefit, but just want to serve the Supreme Lord. That is the goal. You see, it's only very, very fortunate people who get the opportunity to hear the Bhagavad Gita. You see, to understand what is the purpose of human form of life. Not just eat, sleep, and be merry. No. It's way beyond. We have that philosophical intelligence, by which we can understand, who am I? Why am I here? Where have I come from? Why am I suffering? How can I stop this cycle of suffering? How can I get permanent happiness? All these questions are, sign of intelligence. We need to inquire and not just live life the way it just comes. Like people say, take one day at a time, and who has seen tomorrow? So just live and be happy. No, that's what the animals do. They have nothing to worry about. They don't care. They don't have a goal. They just eat, sleep, have babies, and that's about it. So this is an opportunity we have got to practice Bhakti Yoga. So why not become a topmost yogi, someone who has great faith, thinks of Krishna within himself, renders loving devotional service, and becomes intimately united with the Supreme Lord. And see, that is the process. Of course, just like when children go to school, or students go to college, or when people go to work, there's certain discipline to be followed, right? There are certain rules, like children cannot go to school whenever they feel like, whichever day they feel like, and leave the classroom and just go home anytime. No, there are certain rules. The school starts at 8 a.m., ends at 3 p.m., and that's what the student has to follow. The same applies in the job also. We got to, it could be 9 to 5 job or whatever. That's what we follow. There are certain rules and regulations laid down by the company, and the employee needs to follow them. If they don't, then they are asked to leave the job. So also in spiritual life, there are certain rules and regulations we need to follow. If if we choose to become the topmost yogi, if we choose to think of Krishna all the time, if we choose to become self-realized, become a topmost yogi, then the rules are there should be vegetarians, no meat, fish, eggs, chicken, nothing. Just plain vegetarian food. And also avoid onion and garlic. No intoxication, which means no drinking tea or coffee. That's a rule. No illicit sex and no gambling. Why? One may question why. That's because these 4 rules are connected with the 4 spiritual pillars. And our spiritual life, the whole efforts that we are making on the spiritual path depend on these 4 pillars. One is mercy. If we eat meat, fish, eggs, chicken, and all that, then our pillar of mercy is going to fall down. Because even the animals have a right to live. We cannot kill them for our enjoyment, sense enjoyment. Now, one may say, but I don't kill, I just go to the store and pick up some non-veg food. Well, it's because we want to eat that the animals are killed. According to the scriptures, the Vedas, everyone gets bad karma, whether one is killing, one is selling, one is buying, one is cleaning, one is cooking, one is serving, one is eating. Everybody gets the same amount of karma. And if we notice, according to the scientists, our human body is made according to just like a herbivorous animal that doesn't eat meat. There are scientific reasons behind it. You see, there are physiological reasons behind it. Our human body is meant for consuming only vegetarian food. So that's a rule. So if we eat animals, then our pillar of mercy falls down. If we take intoxication, including tea and coffee, then our pillar of austerity falls down because there is intoxication. How can we perform austerity? How can we chant? How can we read? How can we hear? Because the mind gets completely out of place in that state of intoxication. If we engage in illicit sex, then there can be no cleanliness. The pillar of cleanliness drops. You see? No gambling. If one gambles, then one cannot be honest. So pillar of honesty falls down. So if all 4 pillars of ours fall down, on what are we going to build our spiritual house? It's not possible. So the scriptures give us rules and regulations to discipline ourselves. Discipline is very, very essential. Just like when a person is diseased, say a person has jaundice or yellow fever, whatever we may call it, there are certain rules to be followed. One cannot eat anything when one has that disease, because otherwise it's going to mess up the liver. The only thing that is allowed in jaundice is sugarcane juice. Now, sugarcane juice tastes bitter because of the disease, But that's the rule. If one starts eating rice and, lentils and everything, then the disease is not going to go away. So for the disease that we have in this age, in Kali Yuga, for us, these rules are necessary so that we can get rid of the disease, which is called Maya, and that means illusion. See, tomorrow is a very auspicious day. It's called Janmashtami, appearance day of Lord Krishna, when, of course, we fast. Those who are able to fast without water, very good. If cannot, then drink water. If we cannot, then we can eat fruits. And if we are not able to, because of medical reasons, we are not able to fast, then we can observe Ekadashi fast, which means no grains and beans. We can eat vegetables and fruits and milk products, but no grains and no beans. So tomorrow is a very auspicious day, Janmashtami. So my humble request to all of you is, please observe this very, very transcendental appearance of Lord Krishna tomorrow. Give up laziness. You see, it's laziness that kind of stops us from progressing on the spiritual path. Talking about laziness, there were two friends. They were very, very lazy. I mean, height of laziness, you can say. So they were they had gone, they were actually at home and they were sleeping. And then their house caught fire. And so they were so lazy, they could feel the heat, on their body. The fire had even reached their bedroom, and they could feel the heat. And so one friend is telling the other, BB, BB, what does that mean? Which means back burning, back is burning, BB. It was so lazy, he didn't even want to say the full words, back burning. He just said BB. And the other friend said TO. That means turnover. So lazy. They didn't even want to spend time in, saying the full words. Oh, there is fire. Let's get up and run from here. No. That's what most people are here in this material world. So lazy. They don't want to make that effort to become self-realized. They don't want to make that effort, even in spite of getting the knowledge. They don't want to make the effort to become a topmost yogi. And today we learned the symptoms of a topmost yogi. Who is he? Yogi nam api sarvesham. Sarvesham means topmost. Madgatinantaratma. Thinks of Krishna within himself. Topmost yogi. So when we follow the rules and regulations, lead a disciplined life, then it is possible to come to that stage of being a topmost yogi. And the first step is mantra meditation, chanting the holy names of the Lord, which we will do in 1 minute. But before we start chanting, I'd like you to know that I'm traveling next weekend. So there will be no class next Sunday, which is September 1st. And then we will meet again the following following Sunday. And before we start chanting, and I would highly recommend that you also chant with me. I'm not sure if Jamie has come for the first time to the class. If you have, I'll just post some links in the chat for you so that if you're interested, you can, join our WhatsApp group or, and towards the end is the mantra that I'm going to chant. It is called the Maha Mantra, the greatest chant for this age. So I humbly request, please chant with me. We'll chant only 10 times, but during your free time, you're welcome to chant more. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So see, we chanted 10 times, and these are 108 beads. So if you chant 108 times, it takes about 8 to 10 minutes. So please chant the holy names and gradually progress towards becoming a topmost yogi. So I'm going to end now. And if anyone has any questions or comments, you are welcome to ask.
When you say, hi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
When you say gambling, it's about casino,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
video games.
Yes, gambling, anything that involves money. So when you, like in casinos, you go and you put money and then you gamble hoping you will win, you know. So that is gambling. That is one of the regulative principles that we should avoid.